Good afternoon. Well, a warm welcome and good afternoon to all of you that are seated here this afternoon. I'm here today to talk about leadership in the age of disruption. But before I start, let us do a quick experiment, a thinking experiment. Imagine it is 2007 today. The largest taxi company in the world owns thousands of taxis across the world. The biggest hotel chain has about millions of rooms across the world. And we can't forget, one of the largest, digital media company manipulates, or rather, it puts a constraint on how you and we use media for our consumption. Fast forward a decade with me, will you? The world's largest taxi company says we own no cars. The world's largest hotel industry says we own no rooms. And of course, the story of Netflix, who doesn't know, started off selling DVDs and sending to your homes. So what changed? What changed then? Technology? The world around us? What changed? I'll tell you what changed. What really changed was, along with technology, there were people, there were leaders who thought to themselves that I will embrace disruption and I will not dispel disruption. And by doing that, we saw the world around us changed. So the question is, what does leadership in the age of disruption ultimately require? Now, isn't that the topic of what you and I are here for this afternoon? It requires leaders who can adapt quickly, learn continuously, and lead with empathy. And of course, there has to be a purpose. You see, it requires leaders who are comfortable with ambiguity and capable of turning uncertainty into an opportunity. Most importantly, it requires leaders who understand that their role is not to control the future, but to prepare their people and their organizations to thrive in it. Allow me to share a few stories with you this afternoon. I'm sure all of us have heard of Satya Nadella, example of somebody who is cited as a modern day leadership style of Satya Nadella is called as somebody who's very calm and composed. In 2014, when he became the CEO, the whole company was, in a way, not doing really well. It was seen as a company that's losing its relevance in the area of mobile and the cloud era. What happened? From the whole culture, Nadella ensured that he made a shift. The shift was from a know-it-all culture to a learn-it-all culture. I'll repeat, to a know-it-all culture to a learn-it-all culture. And the result of that is that we see that Microsoft today is one of the most valuable companies in the world. Disruptive times, my friends, let me tell you this, that in disruptive times, culture transformation is as important as a technological transformation. The second story I want to share with you is that of a gentleman called Reed Hastings. Anybody knows who's Reed Hastings? Netflix. There we go. Netflix. They started off as a company that would send DVDs. When you rent a DVD, it comes to your house. But Reed Hastings realized one thing, that if I do this for long, I cannot survive. So you know what he did? He disrupted his whole business. And thus the birth of digital streaming emerged. Hastings made a bold decision. He said, I will disrupt my own company before somebody else does. And that is leading through a disruptive era. He made a change. Because of that, today you see there are media giants no longer define what we see and how we see. It's you and I that say what I want to see, when I want to see, and how much I want to see. Let me tell you this. Great leaders disrupt themselves before competitors do. Great leaders disrupt themselves before their competitors do. My third story for you is that of Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Alphabet. You know, when he took up, the Google leadership represented in the era of artificial intelligence. And under his leadership, Google moved on to become an AI-first strategy and the birth of Google Gemini. And of course, we all know that how things have happened after that. In the disruptive times, leaders must anticipate the next platform before it becomes obvious to the world. What am I saying to you today? I'm saying to you today that when the times becomes difficult, you have to think out of the box. I'm sure you've heard of Elon Musk, right? When Elon Musk took up the job, people said that he's challenging something which nobody has ever done, the area of space. Tesla, automotive cars. He took on to disrupt and challenge the industries that people considered forever difficult to disrupt. But he had a vision. He knew where he wants to go. He had a course that he had charted from himself. And then we see the rest is history. You see, disruptive leadership often involves pushing bold visions which initially others consider to be impossible. Coming close to the home, to the land that you and I live in, we all know the name of Mukesh Ambani. At one time, you know, even to use a little bit of internet, it should be so much of difficult. Now, what did he do? He democratized the use of access of internet. Everybody could access internet. Today, you and I are using data like nobody ever has done. Did you know that India is one of the largest consumption of data happens right here in India, by the way? What did he do? He thought what others thought was impossible. He made sure that with the disruption, he democratized all of what you and I see today, which is a simple word called access to every individual. You see, these leaders, they come from different industries, different parts of the world. But they had a common mindset. And that common mindset was they did not resist disruption. They leaned into it. They reshaped their organizations thinking what is best for them. And with that, they reshaped the way they were as an individual. So the real question for us today is whether disruption will happen or not. Actually, the real question is, will we react to disruption? Or will we lead through it? In the age of disruption, leadership is no longer about having all the answers, by the way. It's about having the curiosity to lean, to learn, and the courage to adapt, imbibe, and to see what others don't see. To create a vision where there is impossibility. You take the impossible and you say, it is possible. That is what leadership means when you walk through the age of disruption. I want to tell you two quick stories. I know you like listening stories and I love telling stories. I'll tell you two more quick stories. Two kings. One king was born into a family of a king, and he knew everything that you do inside a kingdom, when to call, how many times to clap, which foot should I put forward. But when calamity struck him, when there were enemies from everywhere, he thought, I know it all, and let me do it my way. After all, I am a king. I can do what a king does. I'm empowered to do what a king does. The result, the enemies knew how to tackle him because they knew every time how he fought the wars. And so he was defeated. There was another king who became a king not by choice, but by chance, because his father died and he became a king at a very young age. He did not know what it means to fight with a sword. He did not know what it means to give a command to the generals. He did not know what it means to come up and say, do this way, because there was no rule book in front of him. He lived in a world of disruptions. But here is what he did. He said, let me call on the wise men around me. He said, let me call on people that have fought the wars. Let me call on the people that know what it means to win. And so he leaned on the wisdom of the people around him. Result, I'm sure you can guess it. When the enemy came in like a rushing flood, the king had more than one ways. This young king had more than one ways to tackle, to combat, and to fight, because he did not operate from the position of I know it all, but he operated from the position of together we can do it all. Disruptions never dislodges you. Disruptions, they never should dethrone you. Long back I learned this, and in my own journey, all what I told you is so much of theory, so much of things that we all know about, right? Let me tell you something which I did, something which is very practical. I moved on from a place of comfort. I moved on from a good job, and suddenly I was told a year back that your role is no longer needed. You are no longer needed. What do? Times disrupted me, my thinking, my plans. But I knew one thing for sure, that there are tens and hundreds of people behind me who have seen me being a leader for so many years together. Over 15, 17 years, I've led people, I've led teams, I've led organizations, and suddenly I'm told, you are not needed. What was my fault? Did my skill become useless? Did I as an individual am no longer useful? The answer is no. But I thought it gave me an opportunity to walk through disruptive times with my head held high and showcase all that leadership is about. I'm going to give you two words that I feel leadership is all about when you walk through disruptive times. The first thing is, and this is my mantra I want to leave with you. When you are leading to a disruptive time, two things, hold on. My dear friends, two things. One, believe in the skill of your hand. Each of you have been given skills. Trust in the skill of your hand. And two, never compromise on the integrity of your heart. Lead your people with integrity of your hand and the integrity of your heart. The skill of your hand, integrity of your heart. I want to leave something with you that you go back even today and think about this. Any fish, and I quote a British thinker, any fish can swim along the tide, but it takes a fish with a backbone to swim against the tide. Any fish can swim along the tide, but it will take a fish with a backbone to swim against a tide. Within the sound of my voice, I'm calling you to be that fish that will challenge, will stand up the adversity, will face the disruptions, and you will say, I am going to swim against the tide. And I'll leave you with this right now. If you catch hell, don't hold it. If you're going through hell, don't stop. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead. If you catch hell, don't hold it. If you're going through hell, don't stop. Go ahead, go ahead. Go ahead. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My time is up, and I'm so grateful for having this opportunity. Thank you. See you all again. Thank you.